So just settling into your seat and feeling your body in the space that you're in. And maybe even taking a body scan here to just check in and take a little inventory of where you begin your practice today. What does it feel like in your body? What is it you need from your practice? What made you tune in today? And as your body settles, maybe just shift your attention to your breath. Allow the breath to become slow and even, so that there's a soothing quality, a grounding quality. So that your breath can anchor you to your practice. So you are here on your mat, getting ready to start your yoga practice. Take just 3 more breaths in stillness. And then slowly and gently drop your chin toward your chest. And just allow the weight of your head to stretch the back of your neck. And then roll your left ear toward your left shoulder. And just feel the right shoulder release downward. Finding some relief along the side of the neck, the right side of the neck. Lift your chin up and arch it across, stretching across the throat. And drop the right ear toward the right shoulder, finding relief along the left side of the neck now. And take a couple more rotations, allowing it to be intuitive. How does your head, your neck need to move this morning? Good. And then eventually bring the head back to center. And from here, open the arms out like a T. Turn your palms to face the ceiling and bring your fingertips to your shoulders. So just bending at the elbows. And then draw some circles with the elbows. So I'm going to start going backward. It can be as big or as small as it feels comfortable. So just rotating and loosening the shoulder joint. Go ahead and reverse directions. So moving through any stuck stickiness or crunchiness in there. Good. And open the elbows out to the side. Keep the hands where they are. And now draw your elbows toward one another, squeezing the elbows together, opening up the space between the shoulder blades, and then open the elbows, press them back, broaden across the chest. Exhale, draw the elbows forward, squeeze them together. Inhale, open the elbows, broaden across the chest. One more time, draw the elbows together. One more time, open the elbows out. Good, extend the arms out to the side, flex the wrists, press out, and then bring the hands behind the back, interlace them together, and broaden across the chest. Reach the palms away from your back. Yeah, so the fingers are interlaced and the arms are reaching away. Good. Release your hands, reach them up toward the ceiling now. Interlace your fingers together and press the palms toward the ceiling. Big breath in. And as you exhale, press the palms toward in front of you. Good. Round the spine, open up the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, arms come back up. And release. One more time, interlace the hands behind your back. Reach the knuckles away from your back. So you're broadening across the chest. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Good. Shake out the arms. And from here, right hand stays down, left arm lifts up. Find a side bend up and over to the right. Good. So keeping both sitting bones grounded down and just finding length along the left side of the body. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Good. We're just going to switch sides. So come up. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up. Up and over to the left. Good. Reaching through the right fingertips, grounding down through both sitting bones. One more big breath in. And come back up. And release. So we're going to transition to hands and knees on your mat, to tabletop. And if you haven't started the music yet and you want to, now's a good time to hit play. So coming onto your mat, hands and knees. If you have blocks, you can place them at the top of your mat so that they're handy. If you don't, no worries, you'll be fine without them. So from hands and knees, you're just going to begin to move through your cat and cow stretches. So exhaling, rounding the spine, inhaling, arching the spine. So just taking your time, starting to warm up the muscles all along the spine. And of course, adding in any variation that feels good here. So maybe it's moving the hips from side to side. It might be rotating the hands, stretching through the wrists, especially if you're using a computer a lot. Just starting to explore what your body needs here. Taking it really slow. Take about 4 more cycles of breath here. Exploring these variations of cat and cow. Giving your body what it needs this morning. Good. One more cycle of breath. We meet back at hands and knees. And from hands and knees, make sure the shoulders are over the wrists, knees are under the hips. Extend the right leg back. So the hips are going to be parallel here. So you may need to rotate the right hip down and really push through the right heel. Good. Now, as you push through your right heel, push your left shin down. Okay, so that you feel grounded. Left shin, right hand presses down. And then maybe take the left arm forward. Good. Finding extension here. Reaching through the left fingertips. Reaching through the right heel. One more big breath in. Exhale. Left hand comes down. From here, draw your right knee forward and step it between your hands. So easing yourself into a low lunge. Okay, hands can be on the ground or blocks. Okay, so if you feel like you need to have your upper body lifted again, use your blocks or your books or whatever it is you're using. And then stay here for a couple of breaths, breathing. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Now, if you have a lot of flexibility in your hips, think about engaging the inner thighs a little bit more so that you're not just dumping into the hips here, but you're drawing up a little bit. So it's this play between pulling your right heel back and your left knee forward. So it's an energetic movement. So you might even be able to see this. When I draw in, I lift up a little bit. And my whole inner thigh line and my lower belly is more connected to the pose when I do that. Take 2 more breaths here. Maybe playing around with a little bit of that tugging and lifting, and maybe an exhale to release in a little bit more. Just playing around with that. Good. One more breath in. Opening up the front of the left hip here. Exhale, release. Good. From here, we're going to pull the hips back and pull the right toes back toward the face. So just coming into a hamstring stretch. I like to bring my blocks with me when I do this. You may need to adjust your stance a little bit. It's just about lengthening your upper body over your right thigh. Good. Taking a couple of breaths here. Finding length along the back of the right leg. Lengthen the upper body as well. Good. 2 more breaths. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Slowly ease yourself back into a low lunge. And let's bring the hands on top of the right thigh. Right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. So it's just a little bit of a side bend. Okay, so my left arm is reaching up and I'm side bending to the right just a little bit. I'm supporting my upper body with my right forearm on my right thigh. And then again, maybe because I'm really flexible here, I might need to draw in and up a little bit. Find a little bit more muscle contraction. Use my leg muscles a little bit more to support the posture. Try 2 more breaths here. One more breath in. And exhale, left hand comes all the way down to the inside of the right foot. My right hand is just going to push into my right thigh so I can gently twist. So it's just a little twist here. If you feel inclined, you can extend the right arm up if you want. 2 breaths here. Slow and steady, warming up the body. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, right hand comes all the way down. Bring the right knee back. Child's pose. Sit back, drop the head. And take a couple of breaths here. One more breath in. 1 more breath out. Good. Glide back forward to hands and knees. As you exhale, round the spine. And as you inhale, arch the spine. Good. 3 cycles in your cat and cow variations. Finding your way back to neutral. Good. Let your spine come to neutral. And this time, the left leg will extend back. Level your hips out. Press through the left heel and then press your right shin down and your left hand down. Really connecting to the ground. Pulling the lower belly up and in. Then extend the right arm forward. Finding length. Finding balance and stability. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, right hand comes down. Left knee draws forward and you'll step between the hands, finding your low lunge. Set yourself up with any props that you need. And then settle in. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. And decide if you want to play around with that drawing in, that igniting of the inner thighs. So it's an energetic movement of drawing the left heel back and the right knee forward. It's just a pulling in and up. And then maybe as you exhale, you relax into the stretch a little bit deeper. And then as you inhale, maybe pull in and up. So just a little bit of pulsing if that feels good. Just play around with it. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Pull your hips back. Find that hamstring stretch. Lengthening your upper body over your left thigh. And so the left leg is moving towards straight. Okay, it can still be bent. The point is to feel that really big stretch in the back of the left leg. Okay, and most of us can have the leg bent a little bit, and you'll still feel that. Lengthen your upper body forward. Breathe here. This can be really intense. Just breathe through it. Feel the sensation, stay with it. 2 more breaths here. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And slowly shift back into your low lunge. And now we'll bring our hands on top of our left thigh. Lift your chest so that the upper body is vertical. Find that connection between your inner thighs and your lower belly. Left hand stays down, right arm comes up. Find length, Decide if you want to stay here or if you want to find a little bit of lean to the left so that you're feeling the stretch all along the right side of the body. And I'm also feeling it in the front of my right hip. And maybe even pressing down through your right shin a little bit more. Really connecting to the ground for balance. One more big breath in. Exhale. Reach your right arm forward all the way down to the ground. Left hand presses into the left thigh, and I'm just twisting my upper body to the left. My legs are staying right where they are. My hips are staying right where they are. And I'm rotating my spine to the left. Broadening across the chest. Maybe the left arm comes up. Totally optional. One more big breath in. Exhale, left hand comes down. Come back, hands and knees. Child's pose. Sit back into child's pose. So it might feel good to interlace your hands behind your back here. Okay? You can decide. Take about 3 to 5 cycles of breath. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And send your arms back towards the top of the mat. Inhale to hands and knees. And as you exhale, find your first downward facing dog. So hips lift up and back. And as you come into your first downward facing dog, it might feel good to pedal your feet. Move your hips from side to side, whatever it is you like to do when you come in your first down dog. When you come into it. Play around with how far apart you want your feet to be. Play around with your hand placement. See if you can find space in the shoulders, across the upper back. Find space from your tailbone to your neck. Good. One more big breath in. And then slowly walk your feet to your hands, coming into a standing forward fold. Okay, so feet are going to be at least hip width. Knees are soft. Upper body is just kind of dripping forward here. And allow your head to be heavy so that the weight of your head is helping to release your neck. Yeah, maybe even sway a little bit if that feels good. And see if you can stay here for about 5 cycles of breath, really planting your feet in the ground. Feeling that connection of being connected to the earth here. So your feet press into the ground, your hips balance above your feet. Your upper body is just releasing forward. Good. Two more breaths here. And now with your hands on the ground or on blocks, step your right foot to the back of your mat and land in a lunge. So the right heel will be lifted. The right knee is going to stay lifted. Let's leave our hands on the ground or the blocks and just stay here. Okay, so hands are on either side of the front foot. And I'll join you here. So I'm going to leave my hands on my blocks and I'm just hanging out in this lunge. Spine is long, right heel is lifted, right knee is lifted. So we're just going to add a little bit of movement with the breath. So as you inhale, slowly straighten the left leg. And as you exhale, slowly bend the left leg. Okay. Inhale, slowly straighten. It doesn't have to get totally straight here. It can just move in a direction. Exhale and bend. So just syncing movement with the breath. The movement can be big or small. You decide what feels good. Maybe it's really contained. Maybe it's really big. It's whatever you need today. And one more cycle with this movement. Inhaling to straighten the front leg. Exhaling to bend. Good. Next time you inhale, straighten the leg. And let's hold here. So it's like pyramid, but my right heel is lifted. So it's a longer pyramid. We're going to do a more traditional pyramid later. Okay, so maybe give this a try. If it really doesn't feel good and you want to hop that back leg in a little bit and drop the heel to the ground, that's fine too. You can decide. Slowly breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Last breath in. Last breath out. Good. From here, we're going to take our hands, and I'm actually going to bring my blocks with me and walk the hands to the right, pivoting right into a straddle. Okay, so you can decide if you need to widen or shorten your straddle. And from here, we're going to keep the spine lifted. Okay, so maybe you keep your hand on your block if that feels good. Left hand on the block, right arm opens up toward the ceiling. So it's a spinal twist. The hips stay level. The feet stay connected to the ground. It's just the upper body lengthening and twisting. And maybe take your gaze up to your right hand. One more big breath in. Exhale, right hand comes down. Left hand comes up. So the spine is long. We're rotating from the center of the spine. The lower belly is engaged. Hips are level or aspiring to be. Broaden across your chest. One more breath in. Exhale, left hand comes down. And now maybe walk the hands under the legs if that feels good. If you want to connect your head to the ground, you can do that. Whatever it is you like to do, take about 3 to 5 breaths in your straddle, folding forward. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And finding that connection of your feet to the ground and finding balance within your feet. So front and the back of the foot, inner and outer foot. Using that connection to the ground to find balance. One more breath in. One more breath out. Bring yourself up to a halfway lift. And if you have blocks, maybe you just want to slide them over to the right. Okay, we're going to be heading in that direction in a minute. My hands are going to come to my hips, and I'm going to draw my inner thighs toward one another to support my upper body as I lift up. It's coming up to vertical. Just take a breath here. Good. And then turn your right toes out. And we'll head into warrior two. So right knee bends, arms open up like a T. Good, so you can take traditional warrior two here with the arms extended. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you can try bringing your right arm under your left arm and finding eagle arms. So if you wrapped your arms up like eagle arms, lift your elbows to shoulder height. Press your forearms away from your face. So just adding another layer. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more breath in. One more breath out. And open your arms back out. Let's add some movement. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, bend. Now add the arms. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, warrior two. Last time, inhale, come up. Keep the right leg straight. Open the arms like a T. Reach the right arm forward and then lower it down for triangle pose. Okay, so the hand can land, your right hand can be on your shin. You can also use a block if you have one. And think about drawing your right hip back and lengthening your spine. Okay, so the left hip, we often think about opening it. Think about drawing it forward a little bit and then lengthening your spine and rotating from the rib cage open. It's a little bit different cueing. One more breath here, broaden across the chest. Exhale here. And then from here, we're going to lower the left hand down. Bring your hands onto your blocks or the ground and come into your lunge on the other side. Okay, so we're going to start the whole series on the other side. So you're in a lunge, right leg is forward. Hands are on the ground or on blocks. 2 more breaths here. One more breath. And now we're going to add some movement. So inhale, start to straighten the front leg. Exhale and bend. Inhale, slowly straighten the front leg. Exhale and bend. Stay with me. It's going to feel a little different on this side because we did some other postures on this side. So the leg is a little bit more fatigued. Stay with me. One more cycle, bend the leg. One more cycle, straighten the front leg. Good. From here, we're finding that extended version of pyramid. Both legs are straight. Upper body is lengthening over the right thigh. Hold here. Again, if it feels like too much to keep your left heel lifted, just simply bring it in enough that you can drop it to the ground. So that actually feels better in my body, so I'm doing that. Good. 3 more breaths here. So from this pyramid pose, think about if your hips are level. Could you draw the right hip back and the left hip forward a little bit? Maybe just a teeny tiny bit. One more big breath in. One more breath out. Good. From here, take your blocks. We're walking the blocks to the left. We're coming back into our straddle. So instead of doing the spinal twist on this side, we're going to bend one knee and then the other. Okay, so just playing around with inner thigh release. Okay, so for some of you, you may go all the way down, get really deep into it. Totally up to you. I usually stay a little bit higher. That's kind of my jam, but you decide what works for you. Take about 3 full cycles. So visit each side about 3 times. Moving with the breath. Really paying attention to sensation so that you know how far you need to go. And that you're giving your body what it needs. Eventually making your way back to center. And if you're using blocks, again, just slide them over to the left side of your mat. Lengthen your spine so you're in a halfway lift. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to standing. Take a moment here to take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Let the blood kind of move back towards your feet since you've been folded forward. Good. Turn the left toes to face the front of your mat, coming into warrior 2. Arms can open and stay like a T, or if you want to wrap that left arm under the right arm for eagle arm variation, you can do that. If your arms are wrapped up, lift the elbows so they're shoulder height, and then press the forearms away from your face. Breathe here. Two more breaths. Pressing the outside of the right foot down. Left foot pressing into the mat. Release your eagle arms if you're using them. Open like a T. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend. So just adding a little bit of movement. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Arms come up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, warrior 2. Last time, arms come up, left leg straightens. Exhale, arms come out like a T. Glide into your warrior, or into your triangle, rather. So finding a placement for your left hand that feels supported. Broadening across your chest, lengthening the left side of your upper body. So really drawing that left hip back, right hip forward a little bit, and then rotate open from the center of your spine, from your rib cage. One more big breath in, big breath out. Good. Let's bring the right hand down. And let's press all the way back to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And lower your shins to the mat, tuck back, child's pose. Good. Take a nice amount of time here, maybe like 5 to 7 cycles of breath. Take one more big breath in, big breath out. And from here, go ahead and lift your upper body. So I'm going to turn to face towards you. But you can stay right where you are. We're going to come to hands and knees and step the right foot forward. Okay, so what's different about this posture is that I want my right knee to be over my right ankle. Actually, I'm going to turn to the side for a minute. And my left hip is over my left knee. Okay, so it's not a lizard pose. I'm folding my upper body to the inside of my right foot. Okay, but I'm still keeping my left hip on top of my left knee and my right knee on top of my right ankle. So it's a box. I like to think of making a box with my legs. Okay, and I like to rest my forearms on my blocks. So this is about the outside of the right hip. We're taking the front of the left hip out of the equation here. It's a box stretch. And now another option here, if you have the flexibility, you could reach your right arm back under your right thigh and bring your left hand behind your back and bind. This actually feels really good if you can make the connection because your legs are supporting your body and it's kind of just like you're hanging on your right thigh and you can really release your head. So if you want to give that a try, go ahead and give it a try. It's a really nice stretch for the back of the body. My spine feels really good here and my legs feel really strong. And I'm working the outside of my right hip. Okay, if you can't get the bind, no worries. You'll still get a really nice opening in the outside of the right hip. And wherever you're at, take just a few more breaths. Good, and then if you're in a bind, go ahead and release. And take a look forward. We're just gonna toe heel the right foot toward the left. So I'm just toe heeling it. And then I'm gonna bring my right knee down to the ground and I'm gonna snuggle my left knee up behind my right knee. Okay, so once they're snuggled together, then I'm gonna sit back. And I'm landing in a cow face pose. Okay, so if this is not your jam today, you can also just do like an easy seat, like sit crisscross and work your hips from there. Otherwise, you can stay sitting up nice and tall, or you can lengthen your upper body forward. Okay, so if you're an easy seat, you would just cross the right ankle in front of the left ankle and just walk your arms forward, okay? So finding your variation and settling in for a couple of breaths. And 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, lift your upper body back up. Lean back onto your hands, untangle your legs, give them a shake. Yeah. So it might feel good to just like lift up a little bit. Or maybe it might feel good to kind of do a little windshield wiper. Just give yourself a couple breaths to bring yourself back to neutral. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to set up for that box stretch on the other side. So this time the left foot comes forward. So my feet are on separate tracks here. Okay, maybe the left foot's a little bit wider. My left knee aligns over my left ankle. My right hip is over my right knee. So really pay attention to that. It's different than what we're normally used to when we do our hip opener. Okay, and then I'm bringing my hands to the inside of my left foot. I can keep my arms straight or I can bend them. Okay. So first just settle in. And then if you want, you can reach the left arm back underneath the left thigh. Right arm comes behind your back if you want to take that bind. Okay, totally optional. It's not necessary to get the benefits of the pose. It's just an option. Okay, I'm actually not usually a big binder, but for some reason this one feels so good to me. So I'm just sharing that. Let your head hang. And notice that this hip stretch is really just about the left hip. Okay, so if the right hip is aligned over the right knee, it's just your stability. Take 3 more breaths here. If you're binding, go ahead and release the bind. Everybody press your hands down into the ground or your blocks to lift your upper body. And then we just start to toe heel the left foot to the right side of the mat. Slide your left knee down to the ground and snuggle your right knee behind. So right knee is behind the left, feet wing out to the side. Sit back into your Gomukhasana or your cow face pose. And again, if this doesn't feel like a doable posture in your body, just take an easy seat, crossing the left ankle in front of the right ankle. You can stay sitting up nice and tall, or you can start to lengthen your upper body forward. Feeling where your seat connects to the ground. And allowing that lower part of your body to get grounded. And if you have the flexibility where your belly or your chest presses into your thigh as you fold forward, use that as an opportunity to get more grounded. Use that as an opportunity to feel your breath. Some slow and steady breath. Expanding and contracting the belly, rib cage, the chest. 2 more cycles of breath here. If you're folded forward, bring yourself back up. Lean back onto your hands, untangle the legs. Shake. And maybe this time with the hands pressing down, you lift your hips up into like a long bridge. Totally optional. Lower down. Bend your knees and slowly lower yourself all the way onto your back. And just gently circle the knees. Finding that gentle massaging of the lower back on the mat. Nice. Go ahead and drop the knees over to the right side of the room. Coming into a spinal twist. Arms open like a T or like a cactus, whatever feels good. It's a really nice reclined twist. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And let the knees come back through center. And when you're ready, let the knees head over toward the left side of the room. Feel the head resting heavy on the ground. The back of the shoulders resting on the ground. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Bring the knees back through center. And from here, keep the feet together and let the knees open to the side for a reclined bound angle. So soles of the feet together, knees open. If you feel like putting some props under your thighs or knees might feel good, you can use that. Just letting the inner thighs release. Front of the body open. You are welcome to stay right here for your final relaxation pose. Or if you want, you can go ahead and extend your legs out, letting your feet flop open, just finding traditional corpse pose. If you need any other props to make you feel comfy and warm and supported, take the time to do that. But just know that we're settling in for a couple of minutes, settling into stillness for your final relaxation posture. So as you settle in for this final posture, it might be helpful to just scan your body from head to toe and see if there's anywhere that you're gripping or tensing or clenching where you can soften, where you can release more. See if you can connect to that idea of the ground holding your body. And then finally, connect to the idea that you are here, that you are present. So we all know that it can be really tempting for the mind to wander at this point in your practice. We're just here about another minute, and let that minute count. So feel your body in stillness, watching the breath move in and out. And the next couple of breaths, invite just a little bit of movement back into your body. Consider Bringing your knees in toward your chest. And start to think about when you might want to make your way back to seated. We complete our practice together, sitting up nice and tall, bringing our hands together at our heart. Together we fold forward, sealing in your yoga practice. Namaste. Have a great day, ladies. Be well, stay safe, stay healthy. Hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Patty. Good to
Great
see you
day.
again. You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.